Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show by people. Belize our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will be happen like I got blue skies. And nothing make people get victim. Better we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play your role, get where you need to. You can tune in from work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time? Call in, it's a show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show my people. Belize our hopes so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will be happen like I got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB.
Good morning, Belize. Welcome to the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's Wednesday, the 19th of February, 2025. We're on today. Hope on today right here. It's WUB time, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. I'm your host today, Mose, Hyde. We want to welcome everybody that has come here to start the day with conversation. You're listening to Creme Radio, you're watching XTV, or you've got our apps on your smart devices, or you've got our social media streams. You got us locked in via simulcast coverage. Glad to have you. Hope your health is great, your energy is high, vibration is positive, and you've got enough space and flexibility in your morning routine for make a could just enjoy all of this, soak it in, and as well take on the opportunity for jump in, as that's what really drives the engine around here. I'm Mose Hyde, your host for today, and you know how we begin with what we call the warm-ups. So of course we've got news, but we lead off with a look at the weather forecast, courtesy of the National Meteorological Service. And today's forecaster, Christopher Gonzalez, tells us all about Wednesday's weather forecast.
Good morning. A moderate to fresh southeasterly airflow prevails over the country. In the forecast, skies will be sunny with a few cloudy spells today and then partly cloudy tonight. Shower activity will be isolated, along with a medium chance for afternoon or evening thunderstorms to develop over inland areas, and then a few showers are expected over the south tonight. High temperatures for today will reach around 85 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 89 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 78 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains. Low temperatures for tonight will reach around 77 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 70 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 65 degrees Fahrenheit in the hills. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to southeast at 10 to 20 knots, and then sea conditions will be choppy. Low tides occur at 7:44 this morning and then at 9:42 tonight. High tides at 1:48 this afternoon and then at 3:29 tomorrow morning. The moon will set at 10:28 this morning and then rise at 11:55 tonight, and then sunrise is at 6:17 this morning and sunset at 5:55 this evening. And now the extended forecast for Thursday and Thursday night. There will be cloudy spells with isolated showers and a few more expected over northern and coastal areas, along with a low chance for isolated thunderstorms to develop. And in the sargassum update, sargassum continues to gradually increase over the area, with moderate impacts expected along coastal municipalities during the next few days. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
And now the news. The application by Jeremy Enriquez et al. To stop the March 12th general elections has been denied. The decision on the interim injunction was handed down yesterday by High Court Justice Tawanda Hondora. In discussing the case in his 29-page judgment, Hondora notes that he could not rely on the contents of 3 affidavits filed by Enriquez as there were inexplicable anomalies, including that the affidavits and exhibits were not validly signed and authenticated. With that stripped away, the judge said there was no coherent application before him on which interim relief can be properly considered and a decision made. He also accepted an argument of the Attorney General that the claim was brought late. We got Enriquez's initial view on the decision.
I was a little disappointed, but not surprised, given the intensity at which we had to carry this whole case to court. But we have to look at what got us there. And what got us there is our deep concern for the severely imbalanced electoral divisions across the country, 65% over and under. And that was our way to find a way to correct it, given that there were promises made by the Prime Minister and this government that they were committed to doing that. So far that has not happened, and so it was our way of trying to get that addressed as early as possible before the elections were called.
So what happens next?
Well, we're planning on appealing this case. I do not think it was, I think it is something that we need to do in order to ensure that we have a clear balance in our electoral divisions.
But you all entered this asking for the interim relief of really stopping the election train, which is already in process. Are all hopes of that now dashed?
Well, as you will note that we had not, contrary to what is repeated over and over, that we brought this at the last minute, we were in a sense gentlemanly, in which we sent a pre-action letter to advise the Prime Minister that if elections are called before the redistricting, we would consider it unconstitutional and unlawful. And we sent letter to the Governor General, we sent letter to the Attorney General to express those same views, that it would subject the citizenry to an unlawful election if the status quo remains. And Unfortunately, elections were still called even though we had sent our concerns ahead of time. Prior to that, the Belize Peace Movement over the years was also asking the government to do what is right in line with the Constitution before elections, but they went ahead and called elections. And so I think it is a breach of our democracy, and we are calling on the government to make that right. This is not something that we just came up with. The Belize Peace Movement was also doing their part of it, and so therefore I was in a sense supporting them in that process, and until I decided that we could also bring another case to stop the election from happening. So it was not a wait for the last moment. We over and over asked the government, the Belize Peace Movement being one of the concerned citizens, to do that. The government did not listen. They just kept promising and promising, as had happened before the 2020 election.
The judge has since set out further case management orders in relation to the substantive matter. The claimants have started a GoFundMe page to raise Belize $30,000 for court costs. So far, they've raised about $2,000. Meanwhile, members of the Belize Peace Movement yesterday held a press conference to provide information regarding their latest redistricting case, number 730 of 2024. This case has different claimants from their 2019 case. Along with their attorney Sharon Pitts, they clarified that whereas the 2019 case that ended in a consent order sought that the Elections and Boundaries Commission submit a redistricting report to the National Assembly so that a redistricting could get done, this case is challenging the constitutionality of Schedule 1 of the Representation of the People's Act, ROPA. The schedule sets out the boundaries of the 31 electoral divisions. Their argument is that the schedule is severely malapportioned, unconstitutional, and therefore unsuitable for use in conducting the upcoming general elections. It's noted that after they sought enforcement of the consent order, High Court Justice Nadine Nabi told them that they would have to bring another claim about the malapportionment in Schedule 1. As we reported on February 12th, claimant Rudy Wade wrote an affidavit to the court asking for an expedited hearing. The case started in November of 2024 and written arguments were submitted on January 13th. What remains now are oral arguments. Yesterday, claimant Paul Morgan reported that they have not yet heard back from the court on a date. We asked what they are telling the electorate ahead of the March 12th elections.
The first question is whether or not we've heard from the court. The answer is no, and I will be brave to say at this point that that is not right. I believe that by now we should have heard from the court, because the court knows well that this is an urgent matter. So take from that what you may. The second question is, what do we tell the Belizean people? We ask not only the Belizean people, but the press, to begin to understand what is happening with our rights. It is more than the executive breaching the Constitution. It is more, I'm more afraid that it is the tolerance that we don't have a backdrop. I would like to challenge the people of Belize and the press to learn more about what we're doing here. We understand, we believe that the politicians have our back. Honestly, they know that we don't know. So that is why they're doing what they're doing now. The more dangerous part of it is that we might not have protection. And this is me personally. I believe the courts should stick to should be true to its mandate to defend us. And if the court does not defend us, then we have a broken constitution. Why have a constitution if we can't get rid?
Pitts described the 7 claimants as the magnanimous 7 and noted that they have not backpedaled in the face of the potential of costs being awarded against them.
I would want to say that in continuing this matter, I recognize that for them, when it seems that they have been getting messages that costs would be awarded against them, they will lose their house, their properties, the cow in the field, and so on. My reassurance is that, one, have faith in God, we don't have all the answer, and affairs of state are not for the faint-hearted. That said, it seems to me that, and I'm just offering a recommendation, but where we are in this time in Belize, people might want to take a break, a holiday, a moratorium, drinking rum, smoking weed, take a little break, or if you're the party and you're in the frenzy and the political frenzy, look carefully at what is happening to our country. We have, in my humble view, an affront and assault on our Constitution by way of experiment and certain things, while our people seem to be in a state of confusion, and from that we must have clarity.
Morgan revealed that they have also written a letter to the Prime Minister on this matter. A farmer in Orange Walk is reported to have died after a thick branch from a tree he was cutting fell on him. On Thursday, February 13th, 66-year-old woman Blanco from August Pine Ridge went into a bushy area in the village to collect firewood. He had left in the morning at around 7 a.m. in his red pickup, taking with him his chainsaw. When he had not returned home by evening time, his wife asked a relative, Elito Torres, to go and search for him. Torres found Blanco lying motionless 2 miles off the main road near a freshly cut tree. He was bleeding from the nose, and it was subsequently established that he had a gash to the back of the head. The police were called. A post-mortem has already been conducted and determined he died as a result of the blunt force trauma from the branch falling on him. Police do not suspect foul play. The Association of Beneficiaries and Retired Public Officers called a press conference in Belize City to voice their dissatisfaction at the government's inaction to return withheld increments from 1995 to 1997. The move by the then government was done to help avert a financial crisis, with the promise that the funds would be repaid later in the form of shares in what was at the time called the Belize Telecommunications Limited, now Digi Belize. In the years since, not much has been happening, and the association is concerned that almost 250 of the roughly 7,000 affected public officers have since passed away. Last year, they met with the Prime Minister and other government officials, and the Protector of the Public Sector Workers' Trust was named in the person of Financial Secretary Joseph Waite. However, according to President of ABPRO, Hubert Enriquez, Waite hasn't done anything since to assist them. During the press conference, the members agreed to protest in Bamapan, and yesterday a few gathered in what they say will be a regular occurrence until they are taken seriously by the government. Enriquez shared more on their plans to come.
The protector needs to take control, and for instance, he can stop the trust from, utilizing the funds of the trust. He can call meetings of the various parties to advise on what's going to be his moves and to discuss it. He can also issue instructions to the trustees who are there right now. He can actually also name new trustees to the board of the trust. So these are things that can be done, and we don't understand why he hasn't done anything. Ostensibly, he has appointed for that reason, but really and truly, we don't know why he's not functioning the way he should function. We are going to be having these marches every week, hopefully, and there's also going to be one in Belize tomorrow. And so, a few members of our executive have come out here to support this move. But you're going to see more often, this march more often. We are totally dissatisfied, and we feel that the more we do this, the more we get the message to those in authority that we are serious about this whole matter.
Ends the morning news here inside the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We will now take ourselves a break, and when we come back on the other side, we're going to open up for a conversation. You're listening to Creme Radio, you're watching XTV. We'll be right back.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative,
All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes. This is time for your participation. That's what this show is built on, and you are able to do so, participate that is, by just giving us a call. Our telephone number is 280-5848, and we expect and we depend on that participation. So please feel very encouraged, and don't be bothered if we are not talking about what you want to talk about. You are permitted here to come in from left field. That's the norm. So just jump in, and if your matter of concern is not being spoken about, then you then take on that responsibility to do so. That's how it is done. Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes, Wednesday morning, and I'm your host for the conversation, Mose Hyde. Now, while you fix up your lead morning schedule before you jump in, let us just proceed in our conversation here. And we've spent a number of mornings here engaged in the conversation about the whole matter of the proper the requirement that our electoral divisions are approximately the, if not the exact same size, which is hard to achieve, but at least they're within a certain range, a closeness that you would have said roughly in the same ballpark. And we've had the conversation, it's called redistricting, but it's not really about what we understand or what the name suggests, that there is any redistricting going on. So yesterday, and in our news reports that we bring forward, you will hear that term being used, because that is the actual term in the court case and so on. But we try to go beyond that term because it's naturally misleading, and to some extent it causes some confusion. And so people really don't zoom in and understand that, like, okay, what that is about. Because when things are unequal, you will have those that it benefits, and you will have those that it affects negatively. And so but even if it affects you, or I should say it doesn't affect you, and even if if you are in a constituency electoral division that has a small number, which means that your vote weighs more than the vote in a division where there is far more electors in that division, it's still not it should still not be our position, well, better than me. It's like, well, if it ain't lost, am I gain? That's how it work. No, because when we create structurally, and by just what we do, this is this is a fundamental aspect of trying to create an equal and just society. You have to understand that when you create an unequal society, even if you are not the immediately affected, even if it's not an initial disadvantage to you, it still comes around, and it still is going to have an impact on the kind of society that you are a part of. So on the surface, it appears, well, you don't have to worry about that because that's not your situation. So it's an issue that unfortunately, people who are in the immediate area that is affected, they feel it immediately, and that's something that means something to them. So a lot of the agitation about this, indeed, has come from, say, outside of the population center of the country. And the population center of the country is Belize City. And it's the population center, it's the commercial center, and it's also the media center. The people who are most affected by the unequal proportioning of our electoral divisions or constituencies are outside of the Belize City area. So you will find out that a lot of the personalities who are leading this thing are coming out of, Belmopan, they're coming out of the South, because they are the ones who are feeling it the most. This disparity affects them the most when you look at those divisions that are really huge, that really are anomalies. In the case of, say, in Stan Creek West, you're looking at about 10,000 voters, as compared to the smaller divisions in Belize, where some of them don't even make 3,000, it's under 3,000 voters. That kind of disparity cannot be considered as within any, any kind of stretch to try to say, well, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. No, it's just this huge disparity, huge difference. So a part of the challenge has been, for those who have been advocating for this matter, is that they are coming in, they have to make their argument, and at this point, as it's presently set up, and they have complained about it, they've said, listen, Belize City has far more political clout than everywhere else per capita. We have 10 divisions, and we have these very small divisions, and then they're an afterthought. You have these big divisions, but we have a call. Krem, good morning, WB.
Good morning, Mose. I want to speak on this very matter you're speaking about. I have no interest in elections. I have interest in elections, but not in the unjust, archaic, feudal, colonial, any bad word you could find of that nature applies in the East. Our system is grotesque and it's diabolical. The other morning you ran up, I accidentally heard a piece of a news item about, I think it's the hospital workers up in arms. They're up in arms, the hospital workers. I think it was them. Somebody up in arms for salary increase, right?
No, they were protesting about a commitment made to them to resolve the matter of their pensions, because when they were made...
something like that.
Yeah.
And something struck me then. Well, it struck me clearly then. That had not struck me before. That in this country, the political directorate, and both parties do it, and as a matter of fact, just as in the United States, the Republicans and Democrats have merged to become a single party, so has happened in this country. So they are both participants in the grotesque, diabolical arrangement. So it struck me as that, they leave these things, what seems to be a fight, a struggle, is not really a struggle because about a matter, any matter, because these matters are intentionally left to become negotiating points on the eve of an election. So you have the hospital workers, you have what were the people in the port, the stevedores, because I was taken aback on Thursday morning when Mr. Raga was in your studio. Next thing I know, he was busy disclaiming that he's not really in government, so he doesn't know what government is doing. Because I said to him, I said, why those people like you, and you too, and people like them who have access to the political center, why don't you advise the government to do the just, correct, and proper and legal thing and redivision this country? Why don't you do it? He then issued a disclaimer that he's not part of the political. So then he and Newbury got into an argument about whether that was true or not. Turns out that Newbury pointed out to Mr. Mann, Mr. Raba, that he's a member of the government portion of the tripartite tribunal, the labor tribunal, which seems to be suddenly going to be reconstituted, evidently, to give a ruling for the stevedores to bring in their vote. But so he then, Mr. Zawada, argued that he's not there as the government person. He's there as a business, but then we said, but Mr. Blake is the business representative, and they have a labor representative. You are constitute one of the 3 persons appointed for the government portion. So there I was fascinated by that because we have not heard anything about that tripartite thing for quite some time.
Well, I think just to clarify that, I think anytime there is a dispute with an essential service and that particular entity writes in and gives the 21-day notice, the Ministry of Labor then sets up the Essential Service Arbitration Tribunal. It's called an ESAT.
So that is not a standing
it's
tribunal?
not a standing tribunal.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I haven't heard anything about them, but of course, I have not been following the local news.
Okay.
I have no interest in the payaso that keeps happening. Anyway, so I thought, so here goes again. So Mose, I want to move away a bit from the East. Let's go to Africa. The British and the French system almost duplicate the British. So when you're speaking of the British, you can almost claim you're speaking of the French system, but there were variations. They set up 2 basic processes in African government, in management. I'm not going to use the word government, managing Africa. Primarily in the eastern part of Africa, they set up what they now call settler colonialism, where they made land available to Europeans to come in and settle, about which the people could settle. They expropriated the land from the natives and then just turned them over to these European settlers. So the settler community became a permanent European fixture in the society. And of course, with time, they eventually merged to become part of that African landscape. In the western part and the northern part, and you kind of saw the mixture in Sudan, what you ended up with, let's say Nigeria. In Nigeria, the British set up what was called indirect rule. Indirect rule consisted of an administrative corps, a group of Britishers sent out to administer the colony. But they were not permanent. They changed and moved and went and came and that sort of thing. And then they used the traditional aristocracy because those societies were complex societies. So they had moved beyond clan government or just tribal government to kingship and all that sort of thing. And so, of course, resting on your tribe, your clan, but at the top you now have an organization of concentrated centralized power. And so they use the traditional aristocracy to manage the interior. And so that interior, you hardly knew you would never have known there was a British presence there just from the interior, because the traditional aristocracy was the go-between. No different more than the Romans did in ancient Judea. When they got there to take over Judea, what they did was they used the Sanhedrin, the Jewish theocratic ruling, because Judea was a theocracy. So they used the ruling class, which was also the priestly class, to manage the society for them. And of course, because the traditional aristocracy in both situations want to keep the aristocratic status, they go along with the plan. It's called an arrangement of privilege. Because they went along with it. And so what you ended up with in a place like Nigeria, this is all happening in Nigeria, is that hinterland, the back portions of Nigeria, the country, the rural areas, were not modernized. Therefore, they have know nothing about democracy. That never reached them yet. They had, these were structured societies, so they were already accustomed to dictatorship type government. So nothing of what the Europeans classified as modern resource people didn't reach them. That and it did. And the traditional aristocracy were happy to keep it in place and go along with it, because they got their perks and quirks. You see? Now we believe we have that move. They don't, and you mentioned just now, you brought up something that illustrates the hinterland concept, the metropolis hinterland concept. London, Madrid, Paris, these were the metropoles, the metropolis that governed, managed, administrated their colonies. And all wealth flowed there to the metropolis. And not only Paris, but Paris was the center. And that wealth would move those societies from peasant, feudal, forward into the 19th, the industrial age, the 19th, the 20th. That's what that did. And the colonies remained the countryside, the backward, unmodernized, primitive countryside. Now, within the colonies, the same model is replicated more. The model replicates itself, the metropole hinterland. Belize City, in the case of Belize, the metropole, governing, eating up all the wealth from the rest of the country. Guatemala City, the metropole, consuming, the prime consumer of the wealth. Honduras, Tegucigalpa, but Honduras managed to urbanize a little more, so you ended up with San Pedro Sula, the industrial capital, managing the agricultural, primitive industrial development of northern Honduras, of Honduras into the coast. You see? So, when you're fighting, and by the way, go to the law board, I forget at which clause the word redivision is used. They state to redivision divisions, right in the law. So I'm trying to figure out how come they have the correct word in the law and we end up with the wrong word in the struggle, in articulating the struggle, because the word is in the law, redivision is in the law. I forget which clause, between clause.
So where is the redistrict? How do we end up with redistricting? How do we end up with that term? Is redistricting any at all in the law?
In there, yes.
It's in there.
It was just wants to show about that not colonized, all human societies have components of culture, and one of the components is language. But if the language that you speak or you learn, you don't learn it competently, you're not competent, efficient in it, then you can't grasp the connotations and denotations of that language. Because every word, let's say in English, has a denotation, a strict meaning, and a connotation, the emotional environment surrounding that word. So if I tell you liberty, yes, liberty, but there's something surrounding it. If I combine the three words of the French Revolution, French equality, liberty, and fraternity, those carry a deep meaning because of the revolution. You see? Well, the word is in there. No, nobody made up, and there's another mistake in that same thing. I don't remember the mistake. Nobody reviewed that law to correct the mistake. So no wonder more they never correct the agreement given to us to go and vote on for going to the ICC. They didn't correct it. Nowhere in that agreement does the word mainland or alternatively continental occur. Nowhere. And Belize is a country of mainland and insular territory. Nowhere does it occur. And I never stop pointing that out. But I recognize then, and I recognize now, that I was pointing it out to people, a set of people who didn't know the language and couldn't identify, and another set who knew the language better. When it was pointed out to them, they didn't know before they thought they weren't going to do the correction at all.
You know, as you say that, Ms. Corvez, I was looking at an interview over the weekend with a career foreign affairs diplomat for the United States, now retired, and they were discussing the phone call between Mr. Trump and, what was it? No, I think it was a statement made by the Russian foreign minister. And apparently there was a script, and so they were interviewing him, and he said, well, there is the script in English. He said, but that's not the script I read. I read the script in Russian. And he was pointing on, so the person says, oh yes, it says as a part of your training back in those days, if you were going to be in foreign affairs, you would have to learn the language, you have to learn the languages of the people you are going to be engaged with. And he said, yes. And he said, and so he was commenting on as compared to what has been put in English. He said, no, he said, I read it in Russian, so there are different understanding that you get when you read it in Russian. And it struck me when he was saying this, that this sounds very familiar. It sounds like Miss Corey is talking. I think what comes across to us here as being different, because your approach and your analysis and your thinking and your emphasis on words and their meanings and language seems to us foreign, right? Like, we are not. Yeah, we are not that specific. And but when I'm listening to this kind, I realize that this is norm for them. The fact that you have to go to the original language of the person speaking to understand, because there are nuances, and we could hear when people use Creole words whether no fire, and know that no use that term correct. And so I feel that we have to understand that what might seem weird to us because of lack of familiarity with how things are done might very well be the only way we should be doing things, because it was important. Like in this conversation, it was of such importance to say, listen, and he's not even employed. This person is not employed anymore. But his natural programming is, I don't want to read this in English. I want to read what the Russian foreign minister said in Russian.
Yes. And there's another reason, though, something, well, I don't know that the regions are aware of this. Russia, when the Roman Empire was split into two, and Rome remained under the control of the Pope, the Pontiff, and then the eastern part of the empire came under the Emperor and shifted to into the Turkey and all that area. What would come to dominate in that area is Greek. And when you study Russian, if you look at the Russian alphabet is Greek in its origins. And their thought patterns are exceedingly Greek, meticulous. If I had to send somebody, if I would have to make a choice to get somebody the best training in some particular areas, I would choose the Russian institutions. Look at what the Russians did with ballet. They didn't invent ballet. They didn't invent gymnastics, but look at what they did with it. They took over ballet and created a methodical, highly structured system of instruction and excellence. And they did it also with the music so that when their own people began to write music, Tchaikovsky, I'm going to waste time to think of what people are. They would go beyond Western Europe. And of course, don't ever miss the fact that they are deeply influenced by the East. So when you're dealing with the Russians, and you say, no, look at what Mr. Trump has. Mr. Trump walked right into a Russian trap. Who has come out the best in his attempt now to become the chief negotiator of the planet when it comes to Russia? What do you think? What do you think has happened?
What's that? Repeat the question, Ms. Corey. I didn't really.
I said between Monday and yesterday, between the weekend and yesterday, Russia has come away. Hasn't Russia come away the total victor over America?
Oh yes, the expert opinion is that Trump has been had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he has been had because of his vanity. He didn't go into that with any wisdom at all. Russia, the sanctions will be lifted by the Americans. No, imagine the chaos that creates with the Europeans, because they were all part component of, they were all participants in the sanctions, right? But suddenly he takes it upon himself to remove, because all of that will be removed now.
No, there's a line I believe in Proverbs about only a fool leans on his own understanding.
Exactly.
And I feel that I feel, as people might have a different opinion, Mr. Trump is not a fool. He's a really bright guy.
No, he's not.
But he doesn't. But he's so convinced of his own
brightness
and his own brightness that he does not invest himself in learning and respecting that somebody who has a deeper learning than you, even if they're not as bright as you, will eat you. And a lot of his own experts in his country have said he does not have enough respect for Mr. Putin's background as
exactly, Mose. And doesn't that sound very familiar, that lack of respect? thinking, man, I don't better than isn't that how we operate too?
I think that human vanity, again, that's why I feel like it's something that, you know, the Proverbs cautions against, leaning on our own understanding. I think there's some concept where they say you have some people who, there's a term they use, I've seen it, I saw it for the first time last year and said that there's this syndrome where people know just enough about something to feel that they can talk about it, but not enough about it to know that they don't know enough.
Exactly.
So the minute we know a little about a thing, we feel okay. I've now become an expert, and we don't have the humility, and I don't feel that power helps at all. I think power inflates arrogance and ego, and very soon we feel that you know, that anybody who is giving a commentary that is not aligned, that something is wrong with them, and it really Trump is displaying all the very unhealthy, negative things that happens when vanity, ego, and shortage of
get in the way.
Yeah. So
And with a total lack of understanding that Mr. Putin is a Russian. The Russian agenda has never changed. Never changed. They are an imperial country. They have an imperial mindset. And communism did nothing to remove that imperial mindset. As a matter of fact, the West increased the mindset when they delivered the buffer zone to them in the aftermath of the Second World War. They delivered an empire to them. And now they want to take back that empire, and they're not going to stop until they get back that empire.
So he said something over the weekend where he said a person who saves his President Trump. He tweeted or whatever he did, and said, "He who saves his country cannot violate the law." Yes. And so I was going to use that quote to say that what he's echoing there is a sentiment that very powerful people feel, what they want, how they want it to be, and that you are in charge of the government, you're powerful, and you feel that, well, complying with the law requirements that our constituencies are approximately equal in size seems as if though that's an inconvenience that you can avoid.
And frivolous.
Yes.
For them it's a frivolous.
Yeah, because you're not really to violate the law, because you are the government itself, and you're really and truly, you are violating the law. There is no other way to you are able to prevail in the courts for various reasons, whatever the arguments that are being made, but the reality is that we have divisions that have 5-figure number of electors.
Exactly.
And we have divisions that are below 3,000. And the law requires that every effort be made to avoid that scenario, and you have not done that for 20 years. You have broken the law.
And more than anything, they are able to treat it frivolously, with lack of concern, because the people, they have made sure they have kept the populace at the same level that the Nigerian traditional aristocracy has done with the Nigerian rural people.
But isn't it a part of the... I hear that, and I'm not disputing that. I was just when I started to talk on some of the factors that have played out, the whole fact that the people who are, and as you've described it, the people in the center, in the in the dense population areas, are the ones who have the advantage. But when you think about trying to put a message to say Stanquick West, not only is it a division that has 10,000 voters, but it's also a vast physical space.
Exactly.
And it is,
and
it
it's
is
even more vast, because remember, the topography has risings in the landscape.
And then you have significant ethnic compartmentalization that has happened there. So you have, it's a huge division, huge number of voters, but it's
highly
also
complex.
highly and very, it's very, I wouldn't use the word fractured, but it's very separated. So
Yes.
to try to craft a message successfully, to have, like you say, well, we have the BPM and we have Mr. Enrique stepping forward, but I don't know that if you walk the ground of Stanquick West today, that this is something that has gotten on their radar on a personal level.
I don't think so.
Because it's a very difficult era, for example, for like being in radio. You have some communities that are hard to reach by a radio signal. Like when you're going through the Hummingbird, you hit Steadfast, Pomona, then you have to get on the coast and you hit. It's really what I say is there are certain things that beyond what the political directorate maybe has done strategically, there are certain things which are, you say, unique to this area, which has kind of helped them along with this, the ignorance that they want to keep
And what has
people in.
also helped them, Mose, is that, let us say the urban area would have to lead the struggle, or they would have to be at the center of the struggle. But to do that, you will now need social structures, like the unions and so on. But it doesn't help the unions to undertake this fight. It doesn't help them, but it ought to. If it did, then they have membership out there. So you need to unify the pockets of membership out there that have a connection to the center. Because that is the world they live in. They can then, if the center accepted if what is facing people like the unions and so the same thing is facing the American Congress, right or wrong, where because the Republicans in the Congress are determined to go along with any wrongdoing, it's now moved to the courts. But that's not enough. You will need one day in the American political system that the legislators become a part of the struggle, because if they don't do that, then they are not seeking to take back the power that properly belongs to them under the law. But similarly with Belize, to reach out those areas, all that area in the south, for example, you have people there connected to the center, to institutions in the center. And it is, so therefore the burden for change rests on the center. And the politicians know that. They know how easy it is to manage the urban center. And that is what they're doing. It is only the people in the center, for one, stop being selfish, for one, stop being self-centered, and understand that this is truly, look at it, Mose. In the South, when you buy something in the South, you pay more than you pay in the city for most things. Right? So the dollar in the South is a more devalued dollar. I think and I said this before, that in the War of Independence of the United States, the battle cry was no taxation without representation. Well, if they were to take up the cause and make it a national cause, it should be the slogan I would support is no taxation without equal representation. Because the people in the South are helping to carry the burden. They don't have the facilities. Look at that school you all covered, that school there some time ago. Just totally lacking in infrastructure. That's what it is. Yet they pay taxes and they pay a higher cost generally for the goods that we pay less for in the city, in the urban center, and I presume in the Pango. So I think it is complex, but I think there could be a solution, but it would require selflessness and a concern for the total country now.
Thank you, Ms. Correg. I have to go to break. We go to 2 Cents Cam, sponsored by Fort Point Security. The team is down south, so we get to hear a break produced by Harlan. And then we take our first break of the morning. This is the Wednesday morning edition of the WB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We have a little traffic going on shortly as well, so stick around. Yeah, we'll be back.
What does it mean when the Prime Minister say this house is dissolved?
It mean that everything crash and burn up. It's time to start all over again. That's the way it means.
You're too say.
You don't say it. For me to say. See ya?
It means that they don't have nobody in the cabinet, like no ministers, no.
That you're too say.
Yes.
Well, me not really know.
That you're too say.
Yeah, well, me not really know to go enough, Father, but me, I have one thing like we say, like eliminate enough, Father.
You're too say.
Yeah, you don't know.
The minister said the house is dissolved. What that mean to you?
When the Prime Minister the house is dissolved?
Yeah.
So right now, election is closed, right?
Yeah.
So now everybody up on their own right now.
Yeah.
They want to say what they could do for right now. So the house is dissolved, that's mean they don't got juice right now.
All right.
So I left that there.
You're too say.
All right.
Each different department in the government now have a minister. They only have the CEO until after election, so it's not just standard bearers.
Yeah, you smart. How you?
I feel that when he said dissolve, it means that right now at the current state, they don't really have any ministers in the house.
All right, welcome back to the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Wednesday morning, 19th February 2025. Mose Hyde in the house with you until 9 this morning, inviting, of course, always your participation to call us 280-5848. That's the live line in this conversation. And when I was speaking to Ms. Coy, I described this. It's not a syndrome. It's called cognitive bias, and it's called the Dunning-Kruger effect, where people, I think it is something that has been made popular by Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is an astrophysicist, who puts it like this: people might know just enough of something to think they're right, but not enough about the subject to know that they're wrong. And it's called a cognitive bias, just reading it out, where individuals with low competence in a particular area overestimate their abilities, often lacking the self-awareness to recognize their own incompetence, which is, when I first heard it, the first person I reflected on was myself. When you spend every morning to talk on subject matters and express your views, I'm sure that 25 years of talking, I'm guilty of doing that, talking in areas that I might know a little about, but no great expert in. So it's always about trying to, check yourself and have some humility and recognize that knowledge is vast, and even people who become experts have to be humble enough to know that there's hardly a human, well, there's no human being walking around with universal knowledge of anything. They know a lot, but universal knowledge is, in my view, unattainable. But the reality is that when we are dealing with the kind of inflated sense of opinion and your own sense of self, where comes with having a lot of power, that is something where an easy trap for you to get into. You know, even somebody as a talk show host, whereby you to give opinions every day, and you might have some people that tell you, yeah, I like how you talk, and you might get encouraged to go off into areas where you always have to say, this is my understanding, and accept and have one consciousness that you don't really know everything or even enough of a thing, but based upon what you know up to this point, you can have this opinion. And cognitive bias is something where you always have to be aware of. Always have to be aware of the tendencies of your own brain to be delusional. That's it. It is 7:50 inside the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. What I'm very confident I'm not being delusional about, but I have a call. Krem, good morning, WB. Krem, good morning. Yeah. Could you please listen to me via your phone?
Yeah, I already turned off the unit.
All right.
Yeah, please respect once again, Baranos. I quickly just want to put my 2 cents on the saying that you said a while ago. And I recall a Greek philosopher, saying when he was so smart, and this was Chong need to learn, Donald Duck, I call that crazy man. He had to learn that this philosopher said, he was so smart that he said, all I know is that I don't know nothing. And then there is a writer in the US also at the Nation of Islam, Louis Farrakhan. He said, if you know that you don't know, you are smart. But if you don't know that you don't know, you are a fool. And Mutavaruka said, the innocent and the fool can pass the two, but they have things in difference. The innocent check things out, but the fool choke. And now I like it. Close it, wrap up so somebody get a chance. Since 1977, God blessed me with the wisdom of understanding different right and wrong. And I know from 1977, I was only 17, I read my first book, Why Am I a Revolutionary? And in that book shows me me what I heard yesterday on the news when this man got and talked to the president of Russia, which I have respect for him, but he got and talked to him, and now they are blaming the small fish for provoking the big fish. In other words, they are saying that Ukraine is to blame for the war from Russia and Ukraine. So that's when I realized people, I don't know who, nobody have to accept what I say. Have their own conclusion and definitions and such. But from 1977, I realized nobody can tell me that they are enemies. They are more friends than me and you. And they always spread the red carpet because they are the superpowers that are always fighting for power, because they're not the hour. No, they blame the small fish. That's a shame, that's sad. Because he provoked the big fish. Respect, Brother Mo, and God.
Give thanks for the call, sir. The number to call is 280-5848. That is the live line for you to participate in the conversation. As always, you're encouraged to do so. We should have a guest coming at 8 o'clock. I don't believe the 2 cent scam was one that came from the south. I don't know what happened to the supply. No, Alexi? We don't know what's going on with the supply. Supply get interrupted from the south. We're supposed to be from the south. And again, as we were saying, the issue with making our electoral divisions have as equal a size, or at least as small a disparity between the number of electors as possible, is not just some kind of OCD. It's not just for the appearance of it. The one ain't got the same size, because he look better. It is not just for the appearance of it. Like, there are some very consequential things that are determined by how much disparity in size exists between your electoral divisions. And the first and the most important one is that the weight of your vote is different. If leave it, you're responsible for put one person in the House of Representatives as compared to a great number of people who also only have one representative, then they vote on any election day. No matter the weight of your vote. One vote not equal the next vote. And that is a fact. I know need to be an expert and know enough of mathematics for able to could be very confident that if you to vote in our division we have 2,500 voters, and the next person to vote in our division will have 10,000 voters, that essentially, that like Ms. Corey put it last week, that like comparing the US dollar to Belize dollar. Or I think more accurately she put it as, if you got one currency with a 2 for make one US as compared to one with a 6 for make the same US, the one we make 2 for one US is a stronger dollar than the one we will need 6 for make that same US. It's a beautiful analogy, accurate analogy, because it only take 2,500 for get one area rep. You'll have to have 10,000 to have one area rep. If you're in our division, we have 10,000 voters. Now that mathematics, not only a matter of, whether how powerful you vote, but if you're living in our equal society, and if you have a fair and democratic election, that shouldn't be the case. Every vote will have the same value, but it does not. You can't bend mathematics to make it have. Mathematics, you can't make that one inconvenient, but you can't move it. You can't change the rules of mathematics to make one vote equal the same if the number of voters is so far apart. It can't happen. Also, of great importance is that what that means insofar as not only where you get a vote pan in the House of Representatives, but also have to do with the distribution of resources will come out of the whole representation. That's a deep consequence. So this is not some little small, irrelevant, the worry about one lead thread with tear upon the bottom of your pants or something. No, there's a big hole in your pants. I don't want to lead thread the hang pan the end where you want to clip and to make it look smooth. No, this is the pants tear. Fundamental tear. Your parts exposed. That's how bad a tear it is. So when you go and tear like that, you should rush to go down and tailor to patch that up. Because you don't want to, in a situation where you have that kind of exposure. The reality is that the system has had this exposure and now is going into another election cycle with the same exposure. That's what it is all about. Okay, that's what makes it significant. Now lead thread the hang off. I mean, I lead thread the hang off, you're okay. No, it's a big hole. That is the reality of trying to make divisions have approximately the same size. We're going to take one break and come back on the other side. Very likely we'll have one guest at that time. This is Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. This is WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's a Wednesday morning. Mose Hyde hosting on this 19th of February 2025. And at this point in time, we have no stranger to WB, no stranger to the Zinc. Perry Stick Smith, of course, director of Days of Healing Initiative, and we're at 90 or 91?
92.
92. Boy, and me now come on the way to the century mark.
Yeah.
All right. It's the 92nd Days of Healing, the second one for the year. As usual, the year started on Dean and George. How did that go?
It gone good, brother. It gone good. Nice turnout. People never want to left as usual when we set the time for the people left. But no problems. There are different community members will come in and interact with the community, you understand me? People from George Street, they out there, of course. You had people from West Street, people from Jump Street, some people from Majestic Alley, some youths from Belama. So you had different community members that came out and interact and engage with the community. Of course, we had really run race sack, race lime and spoon, food, music. Yeah.
But this time you're going to the suburbs,
yeah,
the burbs.
Yeah.
You're going into the burbs.
We're going at the back of the burbs, though. So we still find one hole even in the suburbs.
A hole in the burbs?
Yes, man.
Tell me about it, brother.
Yes, we don't know Belama. You got phase 1, you got phase 2, you got phase 3, you got phase 4. We're going to wait at phase 5.
All right.
Wait at phase 5.
Back all right.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And you got a nice field out there called Fiesta Park. But the people call it Fiesta Field, Fiesta Park.
Yeah.
Nice areas. You got football grounds, basketball. You got a pavilion where you can have artists up there, DJs and things like that. Have some little bleachers around the place. So of course, if the weather permit, because the other day when I did up there, the field kind of mucky after a couple of days of rain. I feel like it needs some filling.
Then they say only cold fun time bring the water to between tomorrow and Friday. So yeah.
Well,
but you know, we don't control that. We don't control that.
Yeah. If the field too mucky, we just not do no football.
Right.
The basketball court cemented, so we could do basketball. We could do a run race.
So when is it going to be?
It's going to be this Sunday. This Sunday, the 23rd.
All right.
You understand, man? I want to big up the brethren up there, Mr. Parham, where they work with me. You understand? When when the brethren counter mystics, I don't want one of any initiatives up in my community. He said, I had a man will work in my community. I do football with the youth, I do basketball with the youth. I just try to keep them engaged in a different sporting activities. You understand? So I explained to the brethren, it's not a problem for me to come up there and do a Days of Healing with you. Just that the thing with Days of Healing is all about working together and collaborating with different communities and community members, the stakeholders in the communities, because you know the youths there. You live in your community. I don't like one tourist in your community. So you don't know, okay, sticks, you bring the rice, you bring the beans, and Miss Lady want bubble this, Miss Lady want bubble that.
Yeah.
Understand me? My brethren right here, he could be the referee. This one got a little ice box, this one got that.
All right. Yeah. And you got obviously got an open mind because it's still like, yeah, you might say Belama, the suburbs, but all kind of people, we live everywhere. And you have youths who need for have that kind of gathering there in all communities. So you know to watch, watch their address, you know to watch the part of youth and they will try reach.
Yeah, because you got a Belama, brother Mose, they got some nice pretty fields up the Belama, nice pretty parks.
Yeah.
But when you ride through, they barely utilize them. They barely utilize them. Especially upon the Albert Hoy Strip. They barely utilize them. They're just there for like optics there. Optics. We got some nice parks in for we community, so we don't know. Yeah.
But right now you look for you get there now to make the youth then come out and make them indulge. You know, truth be told, brother, I ain't never been to phase 5 Belama. Like, I ain't never been. Like I can't tell you how back they look.
You think back they look desolate.
I've been to 4, I've been to 3, been to 2. I ain't never been to 5.
And then they got one 5.
So 5 you gone back there?
Yes, I have to go back there, Mose. I ain't gonna know when you see me come on the show and say Days of Healing, I don't dare in the community.
All right.
More than one time interact with the people and interact with who are the Duke Days of Healing with. To get one feel of the community.
All right. So, tell me, well, you don't mention some of the things, some of the activities we want to have and we have planned, which is kind of like the blueprint of one Days of Healing. There will be food.
There have to be food. There have to be food, Brother Mose. We can't have one Days of
I
Healing.
don't know chow mein.
No chow mein. I don't even want to call out when they bring chow mein from if I got me wake me up this morning about 3 this morning with one pain in my belly.
So no chow mein, we
Yeah,
talk
so we
about
know
rice.
And if we do chow mein, we make our own chow mein.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
But when it comes to food, of course, we have to have food.
You know, I guess some
Yeah. We have to have food for
All
people, and that's a part of the thing, Brother Mose.
All right.
You understand? We have kids out there that run around, they interact and thing. You might get a little hungry, so we don't want you left for Days of Healing.
Yeah.
We say you have to go home to go get something to eat, then come back out the Days of Healing. No, Days of Healing got the food right here for you. Understand me? And you also have some brethren, some sisters, we pass through, and we don't stop nobody because, like I say, you might have some of the unfortunates. We pass through, notice these things that happen, and they want one little plate of food. Go there, get them one plate of food. We don't care if you don't know from the neighborhood.
No, always, you know, when you're reaching out, you're going on the road now. You're not really way up the road, but up the road. So that transportation, movement, I think you don't got some system line up.
Well, with work, we don't got some system line up. We don't got some system money line up. Because let's be realistic, Mose. Toxic song, and I talk out the man business. For me, bring out this brethren, for me, give this brethren on 350 for bring out one sound system like that, Mose. Come on, I didn't get away.
Oh, no. The 350 for just DJ.
For 350 for me, bring out one big sound system like that, I didn't get away.
Yeah.
Understand me?
Absolutely.
So anytime that brethren come out and whatnot and think, all he asks for, that just the least type him to make sure he can gas up for his vehicle.
Yeah.
Pay them brethren where they move them big box up and down, you understand? Stack them up, stack them back down, put them back in for his warehouse, for his 2-3 DJs what he bring out, you understand? So we got our DJ line up, we got our sound system line up, but that lead planks, yeah. Transportation, of course, we need transportation, even from the day before where we have to carry up the chicken, the rice, the beans, we have to carry up some tables and things like that. So I need a lead palenque links again. If we put my lead money in a Mr. Kano truck, because thanks to my brethren, Mr. Kano back at Crewman Lagoon, one scene free and I call up that brethren, he in the car.
But the truck need gas.
The truck no run per hands and heart like how we willing to run per hands and heart, you understand me? The truck needs some petrol. And so far, what we could thank before we go any further, I want to thank the brethren Parum. Understand me? Because this is our initiative, what this brethren to do for a while.
I should give you a lead call if you're in tune.
Understand me? Yeah, I don't know if he in tune or whatnot, because he just come out for work, then he's supposed to go back to our next work one night job, then work one job that morning.
Money catch some rest.
Yeah.
If anybody in a phase 5, I don't really know nobody that phase. So anybody that phase 5, they listen to watch, they could call, big up the thing, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, move forward in,
so,
you big up the man, because the man reach out.
Have to big up that man, reach out. We want to big up they want to big up LIU, we want to big up Mr. Dominic Norales, Mr. Andrew Williams, I want to big up Ms. Sharol Saldiva, I want to big up the Minister of New Growth and Industry, Kareem Musa. I want to link up because Belize City Sub-Umbra Flora Lions Club.
What that?
The Lions Club, the Belize City Sub-Umbra Flora Lions Club. That's the name of the group, one Lions Club group.
Okay.
Yeah. Then they come and collaborate with we,
with
this Days of Healing. Then also the plan for take over and adapt the field. So this time I feel when they look upon what the way they want to adapt this field here and keep this field maintained.
It's like lions.
Yeah.
And not like lion heart, the lions.
Yeah.
All right.
But they call themselves then the Belize City Sub-Umbra Flora Lions Club.
Right.
So they collaborate with this Days of Healing, yeah. And also after this Days of Healing, they adapt the field. To maintain the field, and I hope they would work with that brethren, Mr. Parham, because he's the man would depend on the field, to work with the youths, you understand me, Brother Mose? And usually sometimes when people come in, they always try to think for box away the people with the different foundation, and then when the things start to get not too authentic, you understand? Yeah, so we look forward to that collaboration right there. We want to thank the Belize City Council for the lead donation as well too. But as far, we still need a lot of lead support. We still need to buy rice, we need to buy chicken, beans, cabbage, carrots, coleslaw. We need to lead gas money. Then on the actual day, we don't have no trophies or no medals. So I leave palenkelings again because when it come, we leave football, leave basketball, marathon, and we give out one leave. If there was $75 to first place or 50 to second, same thing with football. And youths will enjoy that, brother, most. Because alone under 13 youths, I don't know, big hard back man where they look like, oh yeah, boy, we know the rally nothing, all this stuff for 500 and better. Then youths appreciate that. But Cliff, no, the last days of healing me day out there, we give the kids, we had a whole bunch of candy. You understand me? Yeah. I would start getting like candy bags for who win. Then when we run out of the candies, we start getting all right, first place one $2, second place $1, and all of that. Then they appreciate that, brother, most. Because they see a way to them, brag and boast. But hey, look here, I end up with one 2 bag of candy, I end up with one $5, I end up with one $10. Boy, I eat 2 plates of food, I carry one. So at the end of the day, we come up on the show and we give thanks to be able to come up on the show, to reach out to the people for whatever lead donations and contributions. And we need the donations, we need the contributions. We also want those who donate and contribute, come out, see where your donations, see where your contributions go to. See where we come out here every month or every other month and beg for one day for one community have fun. Because that one day of fun, that still lingers in people's heads for days, months and years later. Not much communities still come back to me when they see mistakes. So when you bring back one thing that for we hold, man, from the time you left, man, we never have no fun again. Like the fun done from when you left. Yeah.
So just for them people to listen and watch right now, what I want to give one helping hand and one helping contribution. Contribution is important. Hand is good, but
contribution is important.
Yes. So for people who would want to drop something, how they could do that?
Well, those who want donate something, you can link me 638.
If phone works.
15. Yes. See when you tell me that the other day, I said, boy,
Mose,
as you tell me that, I said, Mose jinx my phone for Cliff.
You know the jinx no phone.
The man tell me about phone the other day, boy, Sticks, you still got your phone, you and phone no good. I said, well, boy, this one here look like he like me. 2 days later, crank out. But it's still the run,
You see, listen.
Yeah.
One thing I put on my phone and a screen protector. I don't know how that thing they save you.
That's what I got for
you
this
got
one,
one screen
I
protector.
got one lead glass for
so that broke.
That broke. And I said a good thing I put that, but I even start putting in a case now.
Put your case now.
Yeah.
But that's why the thing the last.
That's why the last now, man. I don't just push it straight in my pocket out of the box now.
So the phone will work. Where's the number, bro?
The number, you can reach me at 638-1550, 638-1550. Or if you're up in the Balama areas, you can reach Mr. Parham at 628-5795. 628-5795. And this link on, Mr. Parham, we're going to lead donation towards Days of Healing. He want to tell you exactly where to meet him on the field, or he could go meet you anywhere in the Balama, you understand? Same way with me, you could give me a call, 638-1550. I can meet you. Or you could come right back at the Baby Zinc, where they are Vernon Street. You see a big green building, then you see some broke up zinc fence with a leap on all the shop the front, that right there with it. Don't be afraid to come in. And if nobody not there at the yard inside, just holler at my neighbor, we got the shop the front, explain to she, Miss Cleos, I can drop off this lead donation towards Days of Healing. She and take your name, your information, and as soon as I reach in, she I say, hey, look here, one bally name Mose can bring this to Days of Healing, or Park Cliff can bring this, you understand?
And so high priority things, need some cash donation.
Yes, we need some cash donation. Need cash donation. We need to buy with food. We need to buy with chicken, with rice, with beans, and things like that.
I always say, yes, you are able to find people who could bubble the food, but you want to give them a slight for butane, because butane not cheap.
Butane not cheap at that time. Then we don't want to say that you bubble food for we. But on Sunday, then Monday, when the time for you bubble for your people, say, no gas, no there, like, nah. Understand me? So we try to get the cooks there, while these slighters.
Steve still not coming yet with the
Steve still not coming with no fish yet. I don't know where they're going to cook the tree. They still flooded it. They still flooded out, I guess.
That means they got fish to bread.
And I think we go up on the barbecue real easy. You know how we does it, straight barbecue, huh? Yeah. But this Sunday, people, this Sunday, from 9 till 6, right there, on the Fiesta Field, Fiesta Park,
They got their own
Belama Phase
entertainers,
5.
or you want to have entertainers, artists then going with you? Or?
Well, we got some artists where say they want to come out, you understand me? Unlimited, plan for come out. We got MIK where plan for come out. I'm going to talk with Carl Money the other day. He said he planned for come out. Yeah. Sting that I rock bag has been a rock skinny jeans. Yeah. So the man say if he not the pump no gas that day, he want to come out and support the thing. You understand me?
Right.
So we have some artists, we have sound system, Toxic Sound, and you know Toxic Sound and don't play song out the neither.
So how you reach the field, like for people?
All right,
me, I don't know that.
All right, if you come in at Belama,
Right.
you see where Benny's apartments there?
Right.
You come straight down that stretch there.
Yeah.
The first right turn.
Right.
The first right turn, you drive straight. Then you have buck, then you want left. Because the street end right there, you want left.
You give direction like coffee boy. Go
Yes,
straight.
Go straight.
Till you buck.
Till you buck. Because you have to buck. Then you make one left. And right on the right hand side, you want to see the field.
I see the field.
Yeah, because when you go straight down and you buck, you see Bernice Yap, when we had the preschool back up Kings Park.
Okay.
They move.
Then
Then they are back there.
Then they are
Then they are phase 5.
Phase 5.
Yes. So when you say Bernice Yap, that means you buck. You make one left.
Straight.
Straight. Make one left.
No left, no right.
No.
We are straight people, not a bend.
No.
So, go. Boy, so you find Benny's apartment, take your lead right.
Yeah, take the right.
Then find the first right.
No, you have the first right, then straight to the buck.
Straight till the buck.
Then on left.
And you're there at the field.
Then you're there at the field.
Big things that happen. Phase 5. Belama. In the burbs. The Days of Healing movement. Strike off. And you know the formula. Food. Fun. Meditation, reasoning. Games. Vibes. You will go and field, so you don't need no clearance for traffic.
No. We don't need to block off
whole
no
field.
traffic or nothing like that. We got a whole entire field. Nice field.
With stage.
With stage.
All right. And then looking forward, you don't have somewhere for March. You don't have, looking forward, you don't know where you're going for March.
Yeah, we got an area for March and you don't know April or Easter.
All right.
Easter at the headquarters of the compound.
And again, this is the way it works, right? If your community, you want to know when sticks and come, and you just sit down and wait.
You can link me. Give me one call, 638-1550. Sticks is my community. Take one lead ride back there. I can sit down vibe with Tono, you understand me? I want someone serious about do something for the community. I serious about push whatever energy I could push to make sure you're happy.
All right. Days of Healing number 92. It's happening. This Sunday starts like around
9. Well, when they're out there for 9, but you know the crowd, they usually come out like around 11, 12, so that when the kids then start come out and everything start to get nice up and thing. But we they out there for early that morning, because you got some kids will come out early sometime to Mose. They just have to hear something that happen.
Then they panic.
I don't make when they hear the music start
I like for years you come out 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock when the sun go down. When you go down in the sun.
Yeah, then they want to run wrong in the sun for you.
Sun no matter you.
Sun no matter them at all. Yeah.
So that they happen. And again, just big up I guess imagine everybody will support the Days of Healing on the George Street, Dean Street Days of Healing, because I know that one they mean a lot to you. So it mean a lot to the whole movement because the day start.
Yeah.
So happy to know that went well and no billing on that, no?
Yes.
All right. Perry Smith in the house. We give thanks, continue the great work, brother. And Belama phase 5, it happened. And that don't mean to say I did a Belama phase 5 that the other phases not for come.
No, they for come.
Because they in your
back row.
They're straight
about.
Yeah. So come through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. All right.
Yeah.
I ain't never been to phase 5, that most of the time. Most of the time, days are healing in the burbs. Give thanks to come by, man. Respect is due all the time, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We will take ourselves a break and come back. This is Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Wednesday morning edition.
In Belize, we value our family.
8:34, welcome back. Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde hosting. Smiley audio problem, but it has been resolved. We're on, we're live, and now you can call in. The telephone number, of course, is 280-5848. That is the live line for you to participate in the show. We love when you call in this segment. You know, we were speaking on the matter of quote-unquote redistricting, which is balancing divisions to make them equal. And in case you missed the news, a case that was brought by Jerry Enriquez with an attorney out of Trinidad was turned down. He lost the case. And so you might say, well, Mr. Jerry Enriquez, he lost the case. Well, really, Belize lose. Equality loss. But there's also something that I want to point out about this, is that it's, in my view, it is absolutely inspiring when citizens take on matters and challenge them. I have many times come here and just express how great and what an important sacrifice and effort is made by the folks of the Belize Peace Movement. It is one of the things that they have challenged, and though we have Mr. Enriquez, who would from time to time come on the show with Brother Nouri, and I know Brother Enriquez, he's been here, I've talked to him as well, and he's been somebody that is a highly regarded intellectual, important voice coming out of the South, representing on various issues. This has been the most, he's involved in a lot of initiatives which don't get a lot of light, right? It's not, he does his work and he's highly respected and highly regarded, but he's not somebody where I say, dip on his center stage like that until this moment that he took this as an individual, not as an organization, took this on as an individual, challenging the conduct of the government. And it didn't work out, but this kind of action is an important part of trying to create a living democracy rather than just a rhetorical, just by words regarding democracy. If the country is based on the power of the people and the people can't do it all, just voting no means that the people have the power. It is when we have, you know, somebody who could step up, or individual citizen, and say, no, I want to hold you accountable. But one of the things was devastating about the results yesterday, beyond the matter of just trying to get the government to comply with the legislation and not having it work out in his favor and our favor, is that he ends up with the cost. This is not just a matter that deals with this singular initiative. One of the huge deterrents, one of the huge roadblocks for make the system work how it's supposed to work, for make this kind of activity, you know that you read all the news where they go on in America, you know much lawsuits done, how much legal challenges done going on, people taking on the state, taking on the president, taking on Mr. Musk, like people that have been fired, people who, all manners of court cases just to go on the Yankee land right now. That's a huge part of the democracy, is that there is a healthy, vibrant process where people get engaged and step out and carry matters to the court. We don't do that. Belize Peace Movement challenged the matter of the referendum. Belize Peace Movement challenged the matter of the redistricting, and now we have Brother Enriquez. But this is one of the problems. When you go to court And anytime we think about something where it needs to be corrected, and I've had this experience, you know that if you only had the resources, you can prevail. But the resources where you need, one of the huge things, and not just for figure out how you want to pay your attorney, you could find one attorney where and be pro bono. In this case, Brother Enriquez find one attorney all the way to Trinidad. And you do have association of attorneys in the Caribbean. Sister Yaya has pointed them out to me. She knows about, and this kind of, listen, you might not find one pro bono attorney that believes easy for different reasons. But you could start to look around the region and find one attorney willing to do some pro bono work for you, and you have some organizations which try to provide that support to you. So you could offset the cost of having one attorney if you take one matter to court. But when you go to court, especially if you take on the government, now for the attorneys when they have in this case the senior counsels, then the government never use, say, the Ministry of the Attorney General. So when you lose and the court award costs, based on the news report, the cost awarded at $30,000. So to make you even try challenge the powers that be, to make them do the right thing, essentially, Mr. Enriquez had to take on the risk at $30,000. Now, that would be discouragement for most people who say, well, why am I bother with that? That's one of the huge flaws in the system. You could always tell well, you could take the matter to court. You could take the matter to court because, you know, this is how you hold, it's a part of one of the main avenues of holding the powerful accountable. But where you have to risk now, if you say, okay, at $30,000, you get the initial, no, you say, boy, well, you want to go to appeals court. That's one, not a risk. And now if you try to go to CCJ, no, the money go up. So for make we care one matter as an individual citizen or as one small organization, for make we get one matter properly ratified by our judiciary to the highest court, even if we are able to find legal support, when no cost will not know out of our pocket, where would the risk the number just go up, ultimately you the risk $100,000. Where if the result not go your way, that's the way you have to face. No, enough we news report, then it said that the cost that $30,000 and the man only get Mr. Enriquez, but Enriquez only got $5,000. I haven't called out. Put on pin.
Would you please review the hours on the required that a ruling has come down? Exactly what transfer?
I can read it again. Let me just take it out of my my file here. 1 second. I won't have his interview. Let's read the script that we have. The application by Jeremy Enriquez et al. To stop the March 12th general elections has been denied. The decision on the interim injunction was handed down yesterday by High Court Justice Tawanda Hondura. In discussing the case in his 29-page judgment, Hondura notes that he could not rely on the contents of 3 affidavits filed by Enriquez as they were inexplicable anomalies, including that the affidavits and exhibits were not validly signed and authenticated. With that stripped away, the judge said there was no coherent application before him on which interim relief can be properly considered and a decision made. He also accepted an argument of the Attorney General that the claim was brought late. The judge has since...
What he said, he supported an argument of the Attorney General?
That the claim was brought late. The judge has since set out further case management orders in relation to the substantive matter. The claimants have started a GoFundMe page to raise Belize $30,000 for court costs. So far, they have raised about $2,000. So my interpretation of that is that that cost of court, $30,000, is based on...
So wait a minute, Mose. the loss was on a technical matter.
Yeah, they lost on a technical matter.
And the substantial part of the case was never even arrived at.
Yeah.
And the cost is $30,000.
Yeah.
So if they had lost the substantial, then the cost would be what? Maybe $100,000, $500,000?
I don't know.
What do you think is the purpose of that cost of court?
I don't know where the purpose. I know what that
The purpose is to stop all. There's no difference between that move and the lashing of a slave or the cutting off of his hands or her hands or feet, or what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians. To advise anybody else who thinks they can fight for their land, this is what will happen to you. That's that's the ultimate, if that is not the intention and evidence, one cannot remove the harm without the evidence. That's still the end result. The end result is to stop people from even thinking of taking up the matter. This was lost on the substance. So you don't even know. We don't even know if their argument had value. No. Who submitted it and submitted it wrong, you know? Whose fault is that? Because the very submission is flawed and slanted on.
That is what the judgment is describing Mr. Enriquez's application as being. The judge is finding serious fault with the application that were made by Mr. Enriquez via his attorney, the Trinidadian attorney. The matter of court costs, when it comes to when you're challenging things, whether you're challenging the government or you're challenging a corporation, is that the justice system does not balance off, it does not account for how it inherently has a bias towards greater resources.
They took 7 lawyers into court.
So
3 from the private sector and 4 from government.
So I've been in conversations where we feel that we have a great injustice. We believe that any fair justice or judge looking at this, and there are times we feel, well, maybe even if we may not get it here in Belize, if we were to get in front of the CCJ, that we believe that the CCJ would have no other choice but to see what is wrong and what is right here, and we feel very strongly. But when we have to consider how much money we would have to risk, not in finding an attorney to help us, but when cost of court is awarded, it is structured in a way that there is a built-in advantage for an entity that has greater resources. In this case, it's the government of Belize.
There's a built-in advantage to keep the status quo in place.
Yes.
Because that's what that is all about. They do not want to undertake the redivision.
How do courts
the people of this country accept that neither of these 2 parties, which by the way have merged, 3 parties have merged to become 1 party. Really, at the end of the day, that's what their intention is not to move this country forward.
How do other Ms. Corey?
We were not even present at the AI discussion in Paris. We weren't there. We had India talking for the global south. The last of the people able to talk for the global south.
How do other nation states deal with preventing that kind of barrier to justice? Because it's really a barrier to justice, no?
Yes, it is. But you see, many of the cases, for example, going before the courts in the United States, those are being done on a non-payment basis by institutions set up specifically to provide that kind of support system in crisis. We don't have a support system in crisis, and they have some of the best lawyers in those institutions. You know, the set up a constitutional reform or inquiry, whatever, they have top people. Remember when they went before the
And I just want to make this point. I got a message. I believe it's Attorney Dickie Bradley. He's saying that there have been constitutional challenges in Belize where the court has said both parties bear their own costs. That's optional, but there are no guarantees when you go in there that a judge is going to say that. Yes, that has happened before, and I agree. I want to thank Attorney Bradley for pointing that out. But in this case, that there have been cases where you have constitutional challenges where the court has said both parties bear their own costs. But yes, that has happened. A court has so ruled, but there is no obligation on the court part to do that.
That is capricious. That's based on whim, right? That's not based on an established policy.
To say,
nothing here happens on an established
I believe that if a citizen brings a matter, I believe that it should be guaranteed that if a citizen is able to bring a matter before a judge and that judge sees that matter as being legitimate, not some, you just come off of the street and say, I want, something ridiculous. But if it gets over a certain threshold of relevance and seriousness, that citizen or group of citizens should not be facing, bearing the cost of the government's legal fees.
Exactly. Especially when the matter you are bringing affects an entire nation, right?
It's not Mr. Enriquez's.
And this is the problem I have with the legal community in this country. They are part and parcel of the reason we are a stagnating country. We are stagnant. We are not a country at the center of power anywhere in the world. And I think we could be. Look at Singapore. Singapore is near our side. But they're at the center of power. We are not. We are not. All we exist on is as beggars and prostitutes. And the thing is, the ruling class intends to keep us that way, and at the center of that ruling class is the legal class. Now you tell me, Mose, why did they need 7 lawyers to go up against those people? Why? And 3 coming out of the private sector. Well, why? So then you're telling me the 4 from the government not up to scratch. All of that is what creates the injustice. And ultimately, when will the people of Belize decide that they refuse to participate in a voting process that is structured for their destruction? When are they going to make that decision? What you read to me sounds to me that it was decided that there are severe failure to adhere to the standard practices for presenting your claim. And the decision is then that this must have happened because you came in on a frivolous matter. But nowhere did you read it that they claim it's a frivolous matter. So because
Well, I don't know if I can say that categorically about the judge and what they were doing, but I know that...
The people who go to defend the matter.
Okay. You mean the attorneys who have taken on the case?
Yes, they. I said from the other day that that's why I told Mr. Desarama, people like you who are the center of political power and authority in you, at the center of political power, you have the responsibility to tell those people to do the right, proper, just, and legal thing, man. Tell them to do it. It is that kind of thing that leads to this integration of a society. And the same, and on the recent show, I said, no lawyer should accept that case. Because it is illegal what the government is doing. Illegal. But you notice they don't rule on the substantive matter. They rule on some frivolous technical aspect. And did they tell you what it is? I didn't hear you tell me what it is. Did they say what is exactly the thing that's wrong technically?
Well, I only read what has been reported here.
You read what was said?
Yeah.
Anyway, bye-bye.
All right. We go to a final break, come back and wrap up. All right, we are wrapping up now. WB returns tomorrow morning with Noor Mohammed hosting. I come back on Monday morning. Hope you have a great Wednesday. We salute the crew here, Larry G at Creme Radio, up at the television, the Glue, Mr. Cliff Lewis, our director this morning, Mr. Alex Sibilai. As always, stand strong, stand firm. For now, we're gone!
Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is the show my people. Belize our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. Is the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah.